Here we go.
Night 3. So we're doing our normal thing, and he has and we're mooching around, and John and I are chatting, and he's playing some music. He's playing some better music this time. and
you accused him about Kenny G.
Yeah, and I see this down the road. I see this. There's this horizontal light. It's like a strip. It's like a strip of light. And it was about midnight or so. And I said to John, that doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like, a real thing. Yeah. What's going, a natural thing, what's going on.
And you hadn't seen it the previous night?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't like something that was a house that you knew was there or something like that?
No.
There was absolutely no houses or anything up here.
So you were familiar, like, where it was coming from, in a sense?
No houses, no people up there.
There's nothing there. And we see this strip of light. And then this thing starts, for want of a better word, starts growing. We see all these lights coming off it, like crackling lights,
now,
like a mist.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is there's an entrance into the camping area, which ends at the end of the road, ends in a circular area, and this was kind of at the entrance would be like 6 o'clock position in the road. This was maybe 150 feet, maybe like 50, 60, maybe 60 yards or meters or so up the road from the entrance. So it wasn't immediately like right in front of us. It was a little distance, but not very, very far.
Okay, so it's about 150 feet away from you guys?
Yeah.
And Adam, before we continue, I just want to make sure we get as many details as possible in on this. So you see the strip. Approximately how big was this horizontal strip of light? I know it's tough because you're 150 feet away.
Well, not very big. It was like a beam, it wasn't like very wide. It was like a strip of light,
kind of like almost a mist to me at first, as my eyes interpreted it as kind of a mist, but it was glowing.
All right.
But it was, more or less kind of a,
But how big was
the
it?
road.
How big was it? Like 3 feet, 2 feet, 6 feet?
The width of the road, so what would you say, 6, 8?
Okay.
6 to 8 feet, not big,
I guess.
But it kind of grew. It was growing, and these lights, and there was like an arc of light. Do you remember that, John?
Yes, it kind of went like a shooting star over the road, and then there were some kind of floating orbs and some flashes, like old-fashioned flash bulbs going off a few times.
Yeah.
We were
like
this glowing area.
Yeah, we were like, what's going on here? You know? We were like, what is going on here?
They come out of it. Is it hovering over the air, so they just step out of it, or are they just kind of like, I'm trying to get sort of figure out the locomotion of this entity getting out of a hovering glow
it
cloud.
Was ground level.
Okay. All right.
So they appeared, and they were static. And this is the anyway. By this stage, there's just me and John up, and me and John were talking about it, and we're going. I'm saying, well, I'm not going to go to bed. There's no way on earth I'm going to bed with these things floating around. Yeah,
right.
Whatever the heck they are, I am not going anywhere because. I was thinking, we'll talk about the difference between fact and hypothesis later on. I think it's really important. But, the fact is that we had seen them, and the fact is that all three of us had seen them. And what I was describing them to John as he was describing them to me because I was struggling to process what I was actually seeing.
Mm-hmm. We both saw and described the same thing.
Yeah, we were describing the same thing, and that was almost like a mental reassurance. So they were small, they were black, they were stocky, well built.
Mm-hmm.
They were smooth. He described them with hair. They didn't have any. I didn't see any discernible hair. They were black. They had red eyes like dots. Yeah, but they weren't actually doing anything at that point. They were sort of. John, do you want to pick up this and then I'll tell us? But I thought, well, as it comes down to me, I'm going to fight it and I'll do my best, but I don't see how I can possibly do it. And then we swung our lights at them, and they were really nearly on top of us. They swung our lights on, and then they just disappeared. John, do you want to pick up? That happened to me at that time. But what I need to work on, and what I am doing, is trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
But I've been forced to talk about it because I've been had that much pressure about it that eventually I popped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we wanted to discuss it because, I mean, we're not disagreeing for the most part with Dr. Johnson, but he definitely has a different view of what these things were. But it's a little unfair because he went to bed and he was not up all night with these things.
He wasn't there when this happened, and he's dismissed what we said.
Yes.
Which is his right, but he's talked about the fact that they're guardians and all this lot. But that doesn't bear to me any relation to what I experienced and what John's personal experience was.
No. Yeah. Well, you and I are on the same page.
Look into that portal, you can see red sky, dark vegetation, and there's these two little, about 3 foot tall, hairy beings with glowing red eyes guarding the portal. John Carlson and Adam Davies are freaking out. Matt, what do we do? Get up here. I take a flashlight, shine it on the portal, it shuts down. They're up there, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Those things are demonic. So Adam Davies and John Carlson go back toward the portal and it opens up again. And they flash the light on it, shuts it down. They go back, opens up again. I go back, shut it down. The second night you heard me talking to the Squatches, not because I was scared so much as I was concerned that it was freaking Adam Davies and John Carlson so bad. Well, that night, I'm sleeping, and you've heard of mind speak, right? Well, they enter my dream. The adolescent male says, it's okay, that's just a portal, and those are two guardians who are making sure you guys don't go into the portal.
Just about a year ago, June the 5th, I posted a video on YouTube where I put forth a brand new theory for Sasquatch, that Sasquatch was a plant person, was a tree person. I connected it to the mythos of the Green Man from the UK and Scotland, Germany, and I also connected it to the tree deity worship, which we see around the world. Now, while the Green Man and tree deity worship are ancient practices, along with going into the forest, I might add, and leaving gifts, it's also an ancient practice, not a new or novel thing at all. Connecting those two subject matters, the Bigfoot to the Green Man, is novel, is new. No one else has done it. And if they have, somebody please provide me the documentation, provide me the link, because I haven't been able to find it. Now, to give credit where credit might be due, Ryan Reading told me that he had talked about Sasquatch being a plant person. I was not aware of that before I formulated my theory. And other people might say, well, what's the big deal? Why do you care? Who cares? It's a crackpot crazy. You can't prove it. This isn't about proof. This is about respect. Respecting someone else's material, their property, intellectual property. Now, plagiarism is defined as the act of stealing, taking someone else's concepts, original ideas, and or words, either spoken or written. It is considered fraud. It's a lie, because you're telling people an idea and you're saying, oh, I thought of this idea, or Zorth told me. See, this is how Matt apparently has gotten around this. To clarify, to make this clear to you guys, I posted that video It wasn't until 3 weeks later that Matt and a couple of his buddies up there had an interaction where Zorth told them to go meet the council at 12, and they ended up being trees. I remember this because I had had a conversation, a Skype call, with Matt and his girlfriend, myself and Lady K, I have a witness, where I outlaid my plant person theory to him. This is right along the time that I posted the video in his group, so he was aware of this idea that came from me. And I told him that I didn't think that Bigfoot ate anything. You guys who have been following me know that I don't think that they're killing anything in the forest, because I think they're, you know, the fairy realm, and I don't think they're eating things here. I see no evidence of that. I don't think they're leaving poop in the forest. I don't think they're doing any of the normal things that normal animals do. And I told this to Matt. I also told him that I thought during the day they were sessile, meaning that they just stayed in one spot, and, like trees would absorb energy from the sun, which is why most of our eyewitness accounts occur at night in the dark, because they're nocturnal when the sun goes down. This is almost word for word what he put forth, the theory that Zorth told him. He's also claimed that Zorth is 100% infallible, yet Zorth was telling him that the Bigfoot people were descendants of Cain from the Bible, residing on planet Earth, claimed they ate a chicken sandwich, claimed that they were eating peanut butter, and as you can see from his YouTube feed, he was frequently leaving out gifting bowls. After he decided they were plant people, no more gifting bowls. He still has a giant scat that looks to me like it came from a bear, that he claims is from a Sasquatch. See, this doesn't make any sense. Matt, if you're watching this, it doesn't make any sense. How can Zorth be infallible when you've done a 180-degree switch? And why is it, Matt, that you won't publicly admit to the conversation, the phone conversation that we had as a group where I told you about my theory? I have tried to communicate with Matt. I've tried to get clarification on this. He's unfriended me. And if you look at the comments on his latest video, he's removing and blocking anything that doesn't agree with his video. So for those of you that are supporting Matt, is this the actions of an honest man? This is the thing he keeps saying about how honest he is, and yet he won't answer my question. And I constantly, this is the thing that's frustrating me to no end, is that I am almost on a daily basis, some nitwit will come to me and leave some snarky comment. Like, oh, you stole Matt's idea, or that's not an original idea, or that's not plagiarism. They'll go on and on. All I want, which I probably will never get, is a public announcement from him, from Matt, that we had that conversation, that the idea was mine first. I can prove it. It's date stamped. But his mindless followers, and if you're one of the mindless followers, do some research. Look at the timeline. Where did this idea come from? See, he's kind of painted himself into a corner by claiming that Zorth told him this information. He might think that this, excludes him from plagiarizing my material because, I didn't get the material from Michael Merchant. No, Zorth told me. So did Zorth plagiarize my material, Matt? And it's ridiculous. This is the problem. It's not as easy now. He could just come out and cite me as his reference, right? But to do that, then he'd have to admit that he didn't get the information from Zorth. And I think that's the foundation of his whole cockamamie scheme, is that it all came from Zorth. All hail Zorth! We have to listen to Zorth! Zorth is infallible! Even though Zorth was confused and thought that the Bigfoot people were descendants of Cain, oh, no. No, they're not now. No, now they're plant people from this faraway planet, and they needed our help with this electromagnetic over-unity device so that we could keep the portal open long enough to get the 20,000 souls through. Buy my book. I don't want money. I don't even want an apology. I just want people to stop badgering me as if I've done something wrong. I haven't done anything wrong here.
By the way, Ryan Reading, how many of you have seen his work online? Get the hands up. Ryan Reading. He sent me these pictures. This was taken just a couple days ago in Western New York. See right here, this blue, this tree right here, this tree right there, this tree is lighting up. Ryan has been begging me to give him information about what I know. I'm like, dude, Zor told me I can only talk to a few people and I have to wait until I tell everybody else. And he's like, you can tell me. And I'm like, no. But he sent me these pictures and he doesn't know what I know. He doesn't know that they're in the trees. But nevertheless, he sent me this picture. And see the tree lighting up?
I shared a photo with him. We caught it from the field. It looks like a tree has this aura or this light or something. I wanted his take on it. Immediately he says, is that a tree lit up? You know, I did the WordPress blog. They shared it on my page, shared some of the dialogue. He wanted to use it in the conference. I said, okay, but I'm not going to support you. But he wouldn't tell me what he really wanted to talk about with it. It was just, I need this kind of thing. I need to, you know, he's needing to use other people's evidence because he don't have it. So an experience is one thing. Everybody can experience anything and talk about it, but you can't make the claims that he's making. So then, you know, during the conference, he gets my name wrong. It's Reading, like the railroad, I tell everybody, okay? Or reading a book. Is it Reading or Reading New York State? You guys know him, and you know, he makes you look like an ass, okay? On top of that, he says, you know, I'm virtually begging him for information. That pisses me off. I never once begged you for any information. I don't know where you get off acting like you're this up here and the rest of us are down here. Just because you have your research and things that you're, you know, experiencing, I don't care if there's 100 witness testimonies and people backing you up. You don't belittle other people like that. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't go and shit on them. If you're trying to grow and experiment and do things as we are, that's about the only credit that I gave them, is that they were thinking outside of the box. And I think it's really coincidental that 2,000 miles apart, two different teams kind of thought to go the same route based on experience. So like I said, our goal is to have other people set up this control, test it in their area, use the magnets near the tree structures, do these certain things, see what happens, see if it's repeatable, see if there's certain things that are interlaced. Now, am I trying to take the reins of any Bigfoot community? No. I'm trying to share what they share with us. Are they paranormal? Are they flesh and blood? Where has the evidence taken us? Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's see what you guys are writing. Said he got... Okay, yeah, he said he saved all these souls. Now, here's the kicker. He doesn't have any proof of that he saved all these souls with the orbs. Now, during our magnetic experiment, something does fly, like, out of the ground at a rapid pace, which is caught on camera, which we share, but we're not claiming to save anything. You know, oh my God. And he doesn't even have proof of this. That's what pisses me off. We work really hard. A lot of us work really hard in the field at what we do. And not only, you know, video evidence, but data evidence. Everything that happens, tree breaks, weather. Oh my God, we keep journals, guys. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I take prints, I have to write things that that happened. When I go home, I got to write things down that happened, where I was, what I did, what we seen. It's just gotten out of hand. So a lot of people, Mrs. Runswithwolves, I know you guys know her, I call her Miss Wu herself. Great person, has incredible experiences. She recently came down on Johnson, as did Bob Gimlin, as did others. He went about this the wrong way. He had a lot of good people that were there talking or trying to support him. But the way he went about this, it ruined a lot of his credibility, per se. Everybody wants answers, okay? All we can share is what we learn in the field. It's his opinion, and I don't know if he's a phony, because I don't like calling people names. He has experienced things, and Adam Davies has backed it up prior. Now he does not. And I will tell you this. I know Adam has been traumatized. A lot of people know this. And he's a great, reputable man. And I understand why he has disconnected from anything Dr. Johnson has to say, as am I. I'm doing my own research. I cannot back up a person that A, doesn't tell you, B, is in a way conniving, C, kind of comes out and shits on you in a sense, doesn't get your name right, shares our evidence because he doesn't have it, because he wants to get his point across from what he wants to talk about. I can't help that we're getting certain things in our area, and certain researchers do get brought together and do get tied together because of this, regardless if they knew each other or not. And then on top of it, when you say you're going to call me and explain everything on a platter, you never did that. Even though we talked on the phone prior, afterwards, I don't care if it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the week after, you never sat there to break this 4-hour conference down in a 4-hour phone call to me after using my evidence. And people wonder why I didn't want to take part in his book. When he asked me, I didn't want this. I didn't want this backlash. It's so hard to support anybody that isn't straightforward with you or truthful. And to me, his deception, Zorth told me to wait. He did not give me a reason why the tree was lit up. And I approached him in confidence, asking these questions. We caught this photo. He shares it. It's a great photo. I mean, I can't explain it. I share it in the blog on my page. I wrote it this morning. This tree is blue, like all the way up. And it's the weirdest thing. It looks like it even has a face on it. I haven't made any claims to it. I don't know what it is. I have no clue. He immediately wanted it for the conference, wouldn't tell me what it's about, and that's why I told him, look, I can't support this. So if you go to Ryan Reading on Facebook and check out my blog, it's there. Am I grateful that he used my evidence? Yes, because that shows that, he needed me. Okay? So he needed me to get some type of point across that he needed to talk about because he didn't have that evidence.
If anyone still has doubts about the cult-like nature of Johnson's group, all they need to do is read the mindless ramblings of a Johnson devotee, like Sealsby. His comments epitomize the us versus them mentality promoted by cults. Asking legitimate questions and questioning outrageous claims qualifies someone as a hater. Asking for evidence of said outrageous claims is seen as bashing and attacking by Johnson's gullible minions. All one needs to do is research cult psychology to see what is taking place. From the Cult Education Institute, a couple telltale signs of those that follow these cult-like leaders: extreme obsessiveness regarding the group/leader resulting in the exclusion of almost every practical consideration. And this one, whenever the group/leader is criticized or questioned, it is characterized as persecution. From the Psychology of Cults blog, regarding cult members are focused on a living leader to whom members seem to display excessively zealous, unquestioning commitment. The leader is a strong-willed, domineering character who rules the group with tight control. Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged, and there can be pressure or social punishment when there is disagreement with the boss. Those who disagree are made to feel as though they are stupid or inept. No matter how radical the leader becomes in his decisions or actions, the cult members will not criticize him. Even if there should be mild disagreement, no specific expressions are voiced. The members reason that though he may be mistaken in some of his judgments, yet the overall good he accomplishes outweighs any minor flaws. Seeing the mindless devotion of Johnson's followers, as this weekend's Dog and Pony show draws near, is truly the great reveal. Paranoid schizophrenia manifests itself in an array of symptoms. Common symptoms for paranoid schizophrenia include auditory hallucinations, hearing voices, and paranoid delusions, believing everyone is out to cause the sufferer harm. However, two of the symptoms separate this form of schizophrenia from other forms. One criterion for separating paranoid schizophrenia from other types is delusion. A disillusion is a belief that is held strong even when the evidence shows otherwise. Some common delusions associated with paranoid schizophrenia include believing that the government is monitoring every move you make, or that a coworker is poisoning your lunch. In all but rare cases, these beliefs are irrational, and can cause the person holding them to behave abnormally. Another frequent type of delusion is a delusion of grandeur, or the fixed, false belief that one possesses superior qualities such as genius, fame, omnipotence, or wealth. Common ones include the belief that you can fly, that you're famous, or that you have a relationship with a famous person. Another criterion present in patients with paranoid schizophrenia is auditory hallucinations, in which the person hears voices or sounds that are not really present. The patient will sometimes hear multiple voices, and the voices can either be talking to the patient or to one another. These voices that the patient hears can influence them to behave in a particular manner. Researchers at the Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research provide the following description. The voices, may make ongoing criticisms of what you're thinking or doing, or make cruel comments about your real or imagined faults. Voices may also command you to do things that can be harmful to yourself or to others. A patient exhibiting these auditory hallucinations may be observed talking to themselves because the person believes that the voices are actually present. Early diagnosis is critical for the successful treatment of schizophrenia.
Hello everyone, it's Dr. Matthew Johnson. It is Friday, April 7th, 2017 at 9:51 a.m. in the morning. Somebody out there spreading rumors that Bob Gimlin is not going to be at our conference, and that is not true. Bob Gimlin is coming to our conference. He's going to be there. The only thing that Bob Gimlin wasn't able to do was follow through with his commitment to autograph the books. His attorney advised him not to because he's engaged in a media contract regarding the whole Patterson-Gimlin film. So his attorney out of Los Angeles advised him not to autograph my books. So I'm sorry about that. But my book still has a foreword from Bob Gimlin, and it's the only Bigfoot book out there ever with a foreword from Bob Gimlin. So anyway, Bob's going to be there. Bob Gimlin's going to be there, which will be Bob Gimlin for a few minutes.